Yeah, just a quick review of Tiger Balm, pain relieving ointment, ultra strength. So, what is Tiger Balm? What's it for? Why would anybody want to use Tiger Balm? Well, basically, it's to get relief from aches and pains, basically from the muscles in the joints. So that's its main use. So, for instance, if you have arthritis or you have a muscle strain, your back hurts you, this is something that you would want to try. And it's ointment that you just kind of rub on, and then it works. So what's in it? I mean, how exactly does this work? Well, anytime you're considering buying something like this, a pain rub or something, you need to look at one thing, not the reviews. You need, well, those are helpful too. But you also, main thing is you need to look at what are the active ingredients, okay? So what exactly is an active ingredient? Well, that's any ingredient that has a direct biological effect or pharmacological activity in your body. So in other words, it's the ingredients that really do the heavy lifting. That's really responsible for, the efficacy of the cream or the ointment. So that's anything you look. You look at BioFreeze or Blue Emu or whatever. Look at its active ingredients because that's really what's making the thing work most of the time. So in Tiger Balm, what are the active ingredients? Well, it contains 11% camphor and 11% menthol, and these are these active ingredients. They're always listed on the product. So camphor is a topical analgesic. In other words, it just gets rid of pain. And menthol is something that gives you a cooling sensation, kind of like it's in BioFreeze, I think. And that can stimulate certain nerves, which can kind of block the pain. So those are the two main things, the way that it works. Not that it hasn't got other things that might be helpful, but those are the active ingredients. So the big question is, do you get permanent relief? Is it temporary? Well, I think it depends. I think there actually might be cases where you use this once or twice and you get permanent relief. Sometimes, like for instance, with back pain, you get like this pain cycle, and your body just kind of gets in this cycle. But if you break it up a couple times, you get pain-free or close to pain-free, your body kind of resets itself, and then the pain just kind of goes away forever, But most of the time, I think people are going to use, to really get rid of chronic pain in particular, you really need a multi-pronged approach. You need to be doing several things. I'll give you an example. Let's say you have back pain. A lot of people with chronic back pain, they have, they have weak back muscles. That's actually been shown in literature. But really, of all the muscles that you need to worry about, they're finding a lot of people have trouble with their multifidus muscle. Okay, your multifidus muscle is a small muscle. You've got them on each side. They run up and down the spine. And basically, they're responsible for your segmental stability. In other words, they're critical in stabilizing your vertebrae. If you don't get good spinal stability, you get excessive motion and then everything gets aggravated, okay? The joints, the ligaments, everything. So basically, and the other thing is they're getting around now. Just about any back problem you can name, whether you have a herniated disc, a spondylolisthesis, spinal stenosis, chronic low back pain, acute low back pain. When they researchers get checking out the multifidus muscle, they find it's just not doing what it should. For instance, if you have a herniated disc, what they find, let's say it's a bulge or herniation off on the right side, they find just the multifidus at that level on the right is smaller than it should be. And they've done studies with some people, like say, that have back surgery, where they actually retract the multifidus muscle. They find years later it's just not conducting the way it should when they stick it with an EMG needle. So lots of problems with the multifidus. But they do find if you strengthen the multifidus, okay, that people get better and the pain goes away. So what's that got to do with Tiger Balm? Okay, you use this to get the pain down. See, right now you probably have back pain, for instance, or you're even with the knee, for instance. And you can't move your knee very well. You can't move your back enough to really do exercises that will help get you the long-term relief. So what you do is you put the Tiger Balm on, and then when the pain is down, that's when you can start doing exercises. And it's these exercises that get you the long-term relief. Now, a good source, if you're looking for multifidus exercises, since I've been talking about it, Treat Your Own Spinal Stenosis is probably got the best set of them that I've seen. If I say that because it gives you a multifidus strengthening exercise in any position. So for instance, a lot of people, you can strengthen your multifidus on your hands and knees, but if you have knee trouble, then you can get on your stomach. You can't get on your stomach, so you've got one in sitting too. This is a real quick 10-minute program that if you get the pain down, you'll be able to do because it doesn't last that long. So like 7 to 8 minutes a day, and some days even less if you just do stretching, you can get your back functioning back to where it was and get long-term back relief. So you don't have to be using these pain medicine all the time or pain rub. Other things make your back much stronger. That's the multifidus. Make your back more flexible. If you have any flexibility issues, your stiffness, it'll help you give you an exercise or two for that. Proprioception. Here's another thing a lot of people don't know about. Your proprioception is your position sense. When they look at, like, say, people with chronic low back pain, they find that their proprioception, they have problems with that. Like I say, this is proprioception is your position sense. And it's something that also has to be addressed when you have chronic low back pain. So yeah, here again, the idea, use something like this, get the pain down. It'll enable you to do other things that will give you longer term relief. So yeah, good product. Definitely check it out.